and Shrabani Basu for being our guests here on Weekend. And this is the final edition of Weekend for the time being, I have to say. The programme's going to be suspended for the next few months because of the current coronavirus situation. You will, though, be able to hear all the latest news at this time and throughout the day, every day, here on the BBC World Service. But it does fall to me, James Kamarasamy, on behalf of all the Weekend team, to thank you so much for listening, and hope very much we return soon. To paraphrase a great broadcaster of times past, good morning and good luck. Thanks for listening.
This is the BBC World Service, and this month's World Questions is in Buenos Aires.
The country's inflation rate is at 50%, poverty is said to affect 2/5 of the population, and the government debt is at $300 billion. Will the new government of President Fernandez be able to turn the tide and see the resource-rich, vast and fertile Republic of Argentina thrive once more?
World Questions at bbcworldservice.com. This is the BBC on Digital Radio Mondiale. You can get all the latest news from the BBC 24 hours a day by heading online and visiting bbc.com/news.
The BBC and Digital Radio Mondiale. Better radio altogether.
On the BBC World Service in just a few minutes. On the food chain this week, why do millions of people go online to watch total strangers binge eat junk food? A grotesque and irresponsible spectacle? Or a way to fight loneliness and isolation? Join me, Gray Jackson, as we explore mukbang after the news.
BBC News with Eileen McHugh. People in India have largely heeded the government's call for them to stay indoors to combat the spread of coronavirus. Hundreds of millions refrained from stepping out of their homes. Roads and railways were mostly empty and public places deserted. Weddings and local elections were postponed. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the 14-hour nationwide lockdown would strengthen the fight against COVID-19. At least 324 cases have been recorded, with 5 deaths so far. An inmate at a jail in New York City has tested positive for coronavirus. It's the first confirmed case in the United States federal prison system. Iran's supreme leader has dismissed an American offer of help as his country deals with one of the worst COVID-19 outbreaks. Ayatollah Khamenei said Iran had been approached several times, but that it was a strange offer given that the US faced shortages in its own fight against the virus. The Malaysian authorities say there's still people who attended a mass Islamic prayer gathering that has been responsible for 60% of Malaysia's coronavirus infections so far. 16,000 people attended the 4-day event.